It doesn't happen very often, but occasionally a mod or add-on comes along that changes the very nature of what and how you fly. To be more correct, I should say a series of add-ons allowing you to mix and match to suit your personal preference. And in today's video, we're referring particularly to the Cessna 172, and what makes it even more remarkable, everything we'll see today, it's freeware. The core elements of this mod are not new. I initially covered it in February 2023, and it was restricted to the G1000 version, which is still available and as good as ever. If you missed my video, link in the notes below. Subsequently, there's been a number of updates, including compatibility with the Skyhawk steam gauge version, and a few extra options. If you fly the Cessna, this video's for you. Hello everybody, this is the SimHanger channel. My name's Mark, thanks very much for watching, and let's get started. So what's this all about? Well, it's a bucket load of features and functions, most of which are payware quality, that upgrades and enhances your Cessna 172, as well as introduce a number of new models. These upgrades are common to all the models that we'll look at today, so I'll only be having a look at one in detail, but it applies to all of them. The first is the upgrade to the G1000 version of the Cessna 172. This was the model I covered in my previous video, and this, like all the models we'll look at today, are from developer Bagaloo. They're available on the flightsim.to website. Once again, link in the notes below. As I've already covered it, we won't spend any time on that model today. Reminder, all the features and functions that we'll witness are common to all the models. Just a quick note to say, you may note the odd graphical anomaly here and there. That is because I'm using a third-party application, Airshow Assistant, available from the marketplace to show all the models together. Anyway, next in line, separate download, is the Reims rocket, which later became known as the Hawk XP2, featuring a 210 horsepower upgraded motor capable of cruising at 131 knots. But let's not dwell on the technical details too much. Let's have a look at some of the external features you get with this add-on. Not only do your windows open, but your doors as well. And most models have a pilot and co-pilot's door, nicely detailed and well animated. You want more? Well, how about tie-downs, chocks, engine covers and pitot heat covers that sway in the wind? Whilst we're looking at the common features, let's have a look at the next model in the lineup from Bagaloo. It's the C172 Bush Kit. This model features monster Tundra tyres, 40-degree flaps, perfect for short takeoff and landings. It's a STOL master. And no, your eyes don't deceive you, you can add passengers. Nicely detailed with animation to keep you company on those longer trips, but passengers aren't your only option. You can remove both the back seat and the co-pilot seat and make room for cargo. We'll be taking a look at all the variety of different cargo you can add to your Cessna later on in the video. I've added some boxes and a drum as well. Got to make sure you got enough fuel when flying in the bush. Another nice feature is you get the option to unload your cargo. There's my drum sitting nicely on a pallet, and the boxes as well. And if you opt to take luggage, well, you can drop that off as well. Also note I've added a battery to help with the start so I don't run my battery down. And last but not least is my favourite. It's the C172 tail dragger. I'll be using this model to demonstrate the other features within the cockpit itself. But before we do that, I just want to mention one thing. And that is the beautiful scenery we're in Canada and British Columbia at Macmel Fisheries. And yes, you guessed it, it's available on flightsim.to. Once again, link in the notes below. For your bush pilots out there, it's an absolute must. Let's now jump into our Cessna 172 tail dragger, and I'll show you how easy it is to use and enable all the features and functions. I think it'd be fair to say the developers made it a real no-brainer. I think it'll be appropriate at this juncture to express my sincere thanks and appreciation to Bagaloo for all his efforts and bringing this wonderful functionality to the flight sim world, and Microsoft Flight Simulator in particular. Let's now jump into the cockpit, and if you look down on the left-hand side, in the pocket is where you'll see the ring binder. To enable it, simply click on the binding itself, and it'll pop up in front of you. And it's here where we can enable and disable many different functions. Let me give you an example. Let's enable the covers, the tie-downs, chocks, and the ground power unit, which is our battery, and there they are. Okay, that was easy. Let's move on. Let me just take those off. At the bottom of the page, you'll see there's various save options. Set it for cold and dark. There's also a persistence mode, so the aircraft will be in the same state that you left it. By default, the checklist card is enabled. This in itself is a comprehensive document. Let's have a quick look. Simple left click to bring it up. And it includes checklists for the aircraft for just about everything you can imagine, including emergencies. Very handy to have on hand and fully visible in VR as well. Click on the border to put it away. One feature I haven't seen anywhere else is the flip checklist box. Let's take a look. These switches don't do anything, but they're a visual reminder of things that you have to do for startup and landing, and you can see them in use in the real world with some of the pilots flying in Papua New Guinea. We'll hide that for now. You also get the option to position where you want the compass. It's set as onboard by default, which is right here, but the other option you have is on screen. Set it to whatever suits you the best. Or up here we can see the sun visors, and they're completely movable and adjustable. Pull them up or down, and you can also slide them left and right. Nice little touch, Bagaloo. By selecting the panel cover option, you can opt to give the fascia of the cockpit a much older worldly look. This will take you back to the 60s. Personally, I think I prefer the black. You also have the option to enable and disable various instruments, so you can quickly and easily really upgrade the whole look and feel of the cockpit. You can change from the directional gyroscope to the HSI, and a more recent touch is you can now choose the Garmin G5 multifunctional display. But your instrument choices don't end there. If you head across to the radio stack, you can set it up for simple VFR, which takes away the autopilot and leaves you basically with the 6-pack, full radios, which is the default setting, and an option to enable the GTN 750. I'm using the PMS version, which is the freeware version. Let's just get some power on, and we'll be able to see that it boots up. Battery and alternator on, and avionics on, and the GTN 750 springs into life. For the artificial horizon, once again, you can choose standard or the G5 option. And the G5 itself comes installed with various options within its own right as well. So with very little effort, you can give the whole cockpit a modern feel. This aircraft has an angle of attack indicator, which is something I really like. Very handy for bush flying. Here it is here. Gives you a visual representation of your pitch and also how close you are to stall. Great for STOL landings. And you have the option to enable or disable it. It can be quite helpful in you getting your final flare just right. Let's flip over the page, and now we're into the cargo options. You can opt whether to enable your co-pilot or not. Say hello to Eddie. Note Eddie is not included with the mod. It's a third-party app I have from Got Friends. You can decide whether you want various bits and pieces in and around the cockpit. If not, you can clean it up with one simple click, and they're gone. Well, let's say goodbye to Eddie. You can take away the right seat if you want to. I'm also planning on getting rid of the back seat, so we'll get rid of that as we're going to be loading some cargo and have a look at that. I'm now ready to load up my cargo. I still got my bags in the back there. Clean shirt and pair of underpants. Yeah, I know I'm old school, but select the bags option and they're gone too. Oh well, let's hope I'm back home by tonight. Let's now go and select some cargo. I think I'll go for some crates on the left and some flight cases I think on the right. Let's have a look at that. And there's the visual display, very nicely done indeed. Let me select something more appropriate. I think I'll go for the camping set, just in case I've got to stay overnight. Just click on the box and it's done. And there it is. Not sure why they included a guitar. I'm hopeless at that. But if I strum it loudly enough, perhaps it'll chase away the bears. As I shown before, you can unload everything if you want, but I think this just highlights the versatility and ease of use. Let's now get rid of our cargo and let's add our seats, and let's put in some passengers, both a left and a right-hand passenger. So I'm going to have 2 victims on board today. There they are, looking suitably nervous. Welcome aboard, sick bags in the pockets in front of you. I think one of the standout points is just the quality of all the additions. There's so much involved with this add-on, I'm not going to show you everything, but there is a tablet on the right-hand side pocket which provides compatibility with a number of different applications, including Skyforce Sim, etc. Let me just get that sun visor out the way, as well as maps. This is OpenStreetMap. There's also a manual map that you can select within the cockpit. You enable and disable the tablet simply by clicking on the power button on the side and it'll return it to the pocket. On the bottom left-hand side there's a small Help Me button. Select this to bring up help. This can also be hidden within the options menu. Here you will find detailed instructions on all aspects of this add-on mod. And when the developer updates it, you'll get a little sticky notepad advising you. One of the very nice touches is the pitot heat cover just swaying in the breeze. And as mentioned, you can open doors and windows simply by clicking on the appropriate latch. And in this case it applies on both the pilot and co-pilot side. One of the more recent additions is the ice scraper. In order to use it, you do have to open a window. So if you're icing up, just click on it. It'll immediately jump outside and scrape your windscreen for you. Nice touch. To install these files is a simple case of downloading from flightsim.to and putting the appropriate folder into your community folder. The tail dragger, the bush kit and the Reims option are separate downloads and install as separate aircraft. However, the C172 G1000 installs over your default Cessna 172 and is only functional with the default livery. As you can see, you get two Reims models, and the tail dragger, bushkit and Reims all have multiple liveries, round about 12 each I think. The flight dynamics for all the models have been adjusted, with the Reims featuring the more powerful motor and all having the option for 40-degree flaps. The only limitation I noted between the models was on the tail dragger. When you unloaded the cargo, it wasn't visible. These add-ons, in my opinion, are truly excellent, to a level where I think they're commercially viable. It'd be wonderful to see these enter the marketplace with access to Xbox pilots. These are genuinely worth paying for, in my opinion. Do you use these add-ons? What are your views? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you as always for joining me today. I hope you found it useful and informative. Stay well, look after yourselves. I'll see you all again very, very soon, and ciao for now.